Hi, we are now entering the awesome month of Orktober, and as you can see here, I've built up quite a large pile of shame to do with orcs. I've got everything from a job lot of orc boys I got off eBay and have sat in a bag for a year, to a legion of death copters, some of which I have had since the release of 5th edition. And some vehicles which are more recently purchased or converted. And I'm going to try and see how many of these I can get painted up in this month. Now, as you can see from these, the status of them varies. If I go back to these cans over here, you can see some are completely unpainted, whereas others, they are painted, but I want to rebase them. So there's quite a variation in the work needed. I also have a vehicle over here, this Orktober. I haven't even finished building it yet. This is, of course, converted from various parts I had lying around, unlike this partially painted one from Forge World. And of course, if you're a collector of orcs, you'll know this hasn't been made in quite some time. So that should give you a clue as to how long I've had it. Now, if I manage to get through all of that lot, I also have a box full of bags of what I would call legacy orcs, and these are going back to sort of 2nd edition and Gork and Mork. And I have several bags lying around of parts like this that I've sorted out for various converting projects, so I may be able to even add to the pile of shame during the month. And for me, I'm going to be back in about a month to show you how things went, and for you it's just going to be the next scene in this video. Final weekend of Orktober, I'm ready to show off the fully painted pile of shame. I will just note that it's not quite the same range of figures as it was at the start of the month, because coming over here to the Storm Boys, I now have this Storm Boy knob. At the beginning of the month, I had a figure that was converted from a regular Storm Boy. I'd just given him a double backpack and a banner to represent a knob, but I was able to find the correct vintage figure on eBay, so I bought him to go in with the squad instead. Although he did cost me more than the actual brand new Orc Storm Boy squad set would have done, I think it's worth it to have the correct figure. So I also managed to finish construction on this Orktober, or Chinork as they are called. I've been working on that for a long time. It's ready to go alongside the actual Forge World kit that I'd had so long it had gone out of production. Finally painted up this battle wagon, which I finished just before the start of the month. That's a conversion I'd been working on so long the Games Workshop I frequent had managed to move several years ago, in between starting and finishing the project. The Assault on Black Reach vintage death copters are finally done, along with some of the newer brethren from the latest Orc Combat Patrol. Finally painted up some grots. Grots really were just something that kept being put to one side. I think I painted a single squad to go with my feral orc snakebites, but that was about it. For regular boys, finished off some shooter boys, the new orcs, the monopose ones from the combat patrol. Sorted leadership characters, of course. Significantly, I got through the great big bag of orc boys with sluggers and choppers that I got as a job lot off eBay about a year ago, and of course they just sat in storage since then. The cans are now properly based and fully painted, and I have an extra 4 squads of elite commandos to go and do their daring deeds of sneakiness. But pull back a bit. I suppose with a couple of days to spare, I could have attempted to paint up some of the legacy orcs or scratch build something new.
But I decided against that. I decided I'd had enough, despite it being Orktober, and I should spend all 31 days working round the clock on our glorious green skins. I decided just to leave it at this. However, I'm not going to leave the video quite here because I think there's something else I'd like to show off first. What I'm going to show you to close this video off with isn't this Gargant that's been the subject of a previous video though. And it's not the Stompers, or the Pulsar Rocket, or the Aerial Assault Wing, or the Warcopters. It's not the Battle Wagons, the Battle Fortresses, the Gorkalith or the Morkalith. It's not the cans. It's not the bikes, or the buggies, or the trucks, or the tracks. It's not the Squig Hog Riders. It's not the Feral Orcs. It's not the Road Trader Vintage Orcs. It's not the boys with their shooters, their sluggers, their choppers, their big shooters, or their rocket launchers. It's not commandos. It's not burners. It's not looters. It's not tank busters. It's not mega knobs. It's not the regular knobs. It's not all the command crew, the war bosses, the mechs, the docs. And it's not the prophet of the war himself. It is my entire Orc horde as it stands currently. Thanks for watching. Bye.